Good morning. Do. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody had a good weekend. You probably saw the title, but we're talking Avanti today. So I'm going to give it just a minute and then I'm going to jump into it. And if we have time, I would love to play Grey Hack, but we will see where we're at after we cover everything. Alright, we might as well get started. Okay, I'm going to change music. We're going to run it. Oh. Gotta mute my stream. I had it on in the background. I like to pull it up on my phone so I can read chat, but I gotta make sure it's muted or else it's distracting. Alright, here we go. Oh. Do. Welcome back. We're talking Avanti again today. If you didn't catch the original video, I'll have it linked up in the description or link we'll restart that. Let's get it clean. Let's get it clean at the start. Welcome back. We are talking updates to Avanti's vulnerabilities. If you didn't catch the original video, I'll have a pop-up right there in the top right. But we'll go ahead and give you a quick recap before we jump into the new news here. So for starters, there's two vulnerabilities that were really causing issues over at Ivanti. So the first news of this came out January 11th. Two vulnerabilities that we had there. One was an authentication bypass, the other one a command injection. And basically what they're doing is allowing attackers to get past typical authentication methods and then running commands against the VPN and NAC solutions at Ivanti. So you'll see ICS and IPS are the two solutions at Ivanti that really got hit. And the next thing that came out was January 19th from CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. So a government agency, they issued their first emergency directive of the year. So they were basically telling companies that they needed to mitigate Avanti 0 days immediately. So Avanti had come up with some instructions and they needed to be implemented. The reason why, pretty much these were pretty sensitive applications and they were allowing attackers to move laterally within the target's network, exfiltrate data, and then establish persistence by setting up a backdoor in there. So pretty bad stuff. So definitely important to get that taken care of. And then straight from Avanti, we had some mitigation instructions. So they provided steps on how to mitigate what was going on with their appliances. And then they also provided some steps on how to restore the impacted appliances. So all that stuff is from the original video. You'll check out the description below. Like I said, we'll have the pop-up come again here in the top right. If you need to check that out, feel free to step away, watch that, come back and get up to speed here. So this is all new information going forward. On January 30th, we got information of Crusty Loader. This is part of what delayed Ivanti zero-day patches going on here, and the news of them being delayed was caused by Crusty Loader, amongst other things. I mean, one, it's hard to create a good patch that actually blocks out everything that's going on, especially with the backdoors that have been put in place by these attackers. But a quick overview of Crusty Loader. It's basically a well-hidden backdoor, runs under very specific conditions, and it's difficult to understand for the blue team members that are trying to understand what's going on with Crusty Loader, understand exactly where it's persisting at. So it's really hard to find and isolate and get out. But just one day after that news came out about Crusty Loader on January 31st, there's some news that there's patches being delayed, or sorry, there was new 0 days that had come out, but there was also some patches that had finally come out. So we'll give a quick overview of what those patches were. So there were two patches that popped up here, or sorry, two patches that have popped up here for CVE 2024 21887 and 2023 46805. So these are the two original patches, or the two original vulnerabilities that we talked about in that first video. So definitely important that you got those two taken care of, because they were the big problem causers back at that time. And just because the patches have been released doesn't mean they're not being exploited, because every company is not rolling out these patches right as they're released. So there's still a lot of unpatched systems out there, and we'll dive a little bit deeper into how wide this exploit is right now. And you'll see, just because the patches got released doesn't mean everybody's mitigating it. It means there's still a lot of vulnerable systems out there. And there is still exploitation taking place by UNC 5221. So if you remember from the first video, that is the Chinese state-backed group. So basically being funded by Chinese government. And there's believed to be others that are exploiting this vulnerability as well. But we have a little bit of the explanation behind the why from Ken Dunham of Quali Threat Research Unit. So you can read this quote here. The skinny of it is basically they're stealing information. So stealing configuration data, modifying existing files, downloading remote files, and reverse tunneling into networks. And the reason why they're doing it is because there's very sensitive network. So that's kind of the rundown of why it's going on. But digging a little bit more into the patches. Oh, sorry. Digging more into two new flaws that have been popping up. So this is from the Hacker News. You'll see the headline, Alert, Ivanti discloses two new zero-day flaws, one under active exploitation. So what does that look like? Let's see. There are two here. So these are the vulnerabilities. One's a privilege escalation vulnerability, and the other is a server-side forgery vulnerability. So privilege escalation, just basically if you get in with a guest or low access account, you're able to escalate those privileges either laterally, but more often is vertically to get them more administrative privileges, so stuff that you can get access to more within the system, cause more problems, set up backdoors. Those other certainly bad to see. And this is the one that is not being exploited right now, so that's all good. And then the other one is the server-side request forgery. So basically, the server side is the Ivanti side of things, and they're forging requests that come into the server so they can modify them in the way that they choose. This is the one that appears to be targeted, as you'll see in that paragraph down below. Ivanti said it's aware of a limited number of customers impacted by that issue. So certainly not as widespread as the first two that we talked about, but still out there, still causing issues, and definitely not good for Ivanti. But next we're going to jump into some news that originally came out on January 31st, but this article from TechCrunch came out on February 1st. Basically a notice from CISA, the federal agency, that government agencies had 48 hours to disconnect flawed Ivanti VPN technology. So if you had something online, you needed to get it off as soon as possible. So this was by February 2nd of 2024. That was the timeline that they needed to get it down. And you'll see this quote here up top. So agencies running affected products, so ICS and IPS solutions, they have to get it down by 11:59 Friday, February 2nd of 2024. So that time has passed at the time of this recording, so every federal agency was required to have it down by this time. And CISA also gave a lot of details on what to do here. So this next link is from the CISA website. Again, all these links are going to be down in the show notes. So anything you want to read more about, get more in depth, go check out the description, check out that detail below. But these were the required actions that they gave, and I'm not going to go through them all step by step, but I'll give you a quick scroll, and you can see they're pretty detailed in what you need to do and by when, the actual steps for going through this, and they also provide a lot of links to Ivanti's mitigation and recovery links that we talked about a little bit. So they give quite a bit of details here. And I mean, if you're a company, government agency or not, these are great steps to follow, as you'll see in this quote from the Velocity founder, Stephen Adair. So there's this quote right here. CISA has effectively directed federal agencies on a method for deploying what would be considered a completely fresh and patched install of the ICS VPN device. So if you're anyone, whether government agency or not, worthwhile to follow these steps. I mean, it's straight from CISA, links to Ivanti material, and you'll know you're getting a fresh and secured instance when you run through this. So if you're in that spot, check these out. The next thing I wanted to show you was the scope of the attack. So we've talked a little bit about why it's going on. We've talked a lot about some of the impact that's happened, but how widespread is this? So we talked in our first video that there's over 40,000 companies using Ivanti, and Unit 42, which is a Palo Alto Networks company, they're really good at the deep dives in these security type instances or incidents. They've observed 28,484 exposed instances of ICS and IPS between January 26th and January 30th. So this is just exposed, it's not breached, but I wanted to give you the baseline for how widespread or the exposure is, about 28,000 instances. So next I want to show you this graph here from Shadow Server, and I'll scroll down slightly. I guess my camera is, let me slide that down so you can see it all. And we'll come right back up in a second. So this is showing what has been actually compromised. So you'll see the tags here. We've got the Ivanti Connect Secure, so just that VPN appliance. And then this is the compromised website source. So you'll see the results here. It ranges from February or January 15th here is when the graph starts. The exploits start coming in on January 16th, and they dip a little bit, peak around the 22nd. And this is around the time that a lot of the mitigations were coming out from Ivanti, so they really ramped it up, wanted to get the attack in, essentially. Hey Diggs, thanks for stopping by. How's it going, man? But you can see over that time, there's a lot of exploitation that has taken place, and the graph stops on February 4th. There's going to be more data that comes out as time goes on. So today's February 5th. It only goes, I mean, it's one day before the current day. So if you check back in on this link, which is again in the description, you'll see more information on how many exposures or how many compromised websites there's been. But right now, there's about 8,900 compromised instances. So about 30% of the total between January 16th and February 4th. So there has been a lot of compromise. So if you're one of those couple 20,000 or so that has been compromised, super important to get mitigated and patched and follow those CISA and Ivanti instructions. And something to note is, I know we talked about new vulnerabilities and new instances like that going on. You'll see here straight from the Ivanti website, and I'll scroll up a little bit. They mentioned as of February 1st, everything that they know of has been patched. So the patch that they released on January 31st, or right around that time, covers everything. So the new vulnerabilities that popped up, the original ones we talked about, should all be covered by that February 1st patch, at least according to Ivanti. And if you made it this far in the video, I mean, we're going to continue updating as the story continues, so feel free to subscribe, and I appreciate you watching. Thank you. All right. Thanks for coming by, Diggs. That is it for the Ivanti story, but we're actually going to play a little bit of Gray Hack. So not sure if it's a game you've seen before, but I enjoy it quite a lot. Basically a game to learn ethical hacking. I'm gonna get that fired up. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do do. Ba da 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 da. Do 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 do. Da 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 da. Ba da 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 da. Do 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 do. Okay. Do 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 do. I guess I should update the info real quick that we're on to Gray Hack. I guess I can just do exclamation point game? Gray Hack? I don't know. I think that would work though. Alright. Let's see if we got the game pulled up. Okay, I'm gonna pull up live split because we are gonna do a timer here today. Ooh, wait, we got 2 timers? 4 timers? Holy moly. Alright. There we go. Got Gray Hack pulled up. Launch that. Hey, we didn't get a message when we logged in today that we did something bad. So that's good. Progress. Control start. Alright. Let's get started. Do do do. Go to the browser. Let me do academic changes. So client wants to change some grades in his academic record. Remote IP of the victim is 88.12.246.253. Okay, and we have the database location. If you cannot access directly, you can try it through a teacher's computer in the local network. The record to modify belongs to Madeline Magny. Modify the physics to increase the academic qualification by at least 1 point. Alright. So we need to figure out how to connect to the network. Let's simplify that. Connect to the network. Then we need to get into education records. Find and change Madeline's physics grade. Get out. Make my money. Okay. So that's what we're going to do today. Welcome to another episode of Grey Hack. Today we are trying to breach into the education system, change some grades. So you'll see on screen, it's pretty simple what we're trying to do. Trying to connect to the network, get into the education records, change Madeline's physics grade, get out and make our money. Got all the details here, what we need to do. We got 30 minutes to do it, or else we got a punishment. Let's get started. Okay, so the client wants to change some grades in his academic record. The remote IP of the victim is there. The LAN address where the database is located is there. If you cannot access directly, you can try to access through a teacher's computer in the local network. The record to modify belongs to Madeline, and we want to change the physics subject or physics score by at least 1 point. So we are probably just going to give her an A+. If we're going to mess around in there, we might as well do it big. So let's open the terminal, get started, and let us nmap where the database is located. Paste that in there. Let's see what we've got. Alright, that is unreachable. So let us do it for Madeline's. So nmap, we're trying to get information on this IP address, see what ports are open. So you'll see here, this is for Madeline itself. Well, at least the victim. I'm not sure if that's Madeline's. What if we go who is? Who is should give us a little bit more detail on who is actually the owner of this IP address. So let's see what we get out of there. Okay, so yeah, see, Madeline's not the owner of this. From nmap, we got info that these ports are open, are SSH, SMTP, and HTTP ports. And then from who is, we learned a little bit about who the admin contact is. So from there, let's try to dig a little bit more into exploits on these ports. Because I think we have to get in, and then we connect to the database at this IP address. So to get in, I believe we should have some exploits in our file explorer. I'm trying to remember what we have for port 22. Okay, let's see what this scan library is. Let's see what we need for it. We need the library file. Scan router. So I'm just putting in these commands to get a little bit more information on what we need to input to use this command. So we're gonna still use that same IP address. Scan the router, see if we get anything there. There's no firewall rules there that we need to worry about. I'll make an archive folder soon. And then let's see this one. So we need an IP address and a port. I don't know. This one I don't believe will get us into port 80. Or sorry, I don't think it'll get into port 22. I think it gets us into port 80. But we're gonna try port 22 to start. Okay, so nothing found. Let's try port 80. Okay, no vulnerability found. Something else we might be able to do here is a social engineering attempt. Let's see, so we have the email format, so we can reach out to this individual. Let me grab that whole email address, copy that, and we're gonna write an email to them. We're gonna say we have login issues. And my name is Madeline. Let me actually open another mail browser, make sure that's right. So I'm Madeline, I don't know what's happening, I'm at my workstation, it's giving me issues. Let's see if we can send it. Well, I guess logging in as Madeline isn't much help. But let's see, this might help us. Okay, there's no one with that name. So that's not the right path. Oh, we'll just say sorry. Oh, wrong person. Move on from there. The hardest part is always getting to the network, obviously. Okay, let's read our original email again. So we've got the IP of the victim. We've got the exploits that are on there. So the ports that we hit 22 and we hit 80 and there was nothing found. Maybe we might need to go to the browser. Let me see what we've got as far as exploits go. Eventually what I'd like to do, I think it'd be super cool, is to actually understand these exploits a little bit more in detail and be able to code them ourselves. But we can look at SSH exploit in the proper version, 1.4.1. Prints the contents of the file mail.txt of all users in the computer. I don't think we need that. Take advantage of a new vulnerability in SSH service to inject a new password to a registered user. We could do that. We could try to get into the admin's account. I think we just want to get access to the shell. So let's start there. Purchase that. Save it in our file path. Okay. Close that down. Okay, so this was what it was. LE base or la base. So for that, we need the IP address, which I believe we still copied. No. What was it? 88.12.246.253, and the port was 22. So this is an SSH specific breach. No active root user found. Okay. Huh. So we could check some of the other open ports, like HTTP is also open, but let's go SMTP. I haven't had an attack on that port. And that's an email one, so it may be more email specific. So we're gonna probably run across the same issue if there's no admin users there. Maybe we do need to get fast access to the password contents. Let's see. We're gonna buy this one, save it. So we're gonna try to get access to the password file path. So let's run that. Same IP address, 88. Oops, 88.12.246.253. Oops, I need the port in there. So that's 25 for SMTP. Okay, so we've got computer obtained with credentials from guest. We'll see if that gets us anything. Let that run for a minute. I'll throw it over here, show the progress on that. The land where the database is located. Is there... So we need to get into this victim computer, I imagine, and then remote into that LAN. Let's see. We'll close this out as well. Oops. Oh, now it's deciphering user root. Okay, as we play this game more, I definitely am going to start modifying those password files myself, or those command files. So I've joined some forums for this, and you can definitely run these, like run your own commands and not pay for them in this shop, which I think would be more beneficial. Let me get my nmap pulled up here. For that IP address, oh, awesome. Now we're deciphering more users. So I think that will actually be pretty helpful. I'll give that a minute to run. And I think we already have some exploits downloaded for HTTP. We've got decipher, so we should be able to decipher some password file on here. Okay, see, these are all the passwords for root, for this person, for libc. Alright, so we've got a bunch of credentials now. So this exploit was definitely helpful for getting the password files. So from there, can we just SSH? What's that command need exactly? Yeah, so let's try as 10b. Oh wait, we need the IP address. So we're going to try to SSH into the database here. We'll do that. Oh, we need the username and password first. That's 10b. I think caps matter here. Got the password. And then port 22 is open, so we're going to try to get in there. Oh, the IP address is not found. Okay, I don't think, let's see. I don't think we can get it into this IP, but I could be wrong. Definitely could be wrong. Okay, so we are in. So, let's see. Let's just open the File Explorer. No, I want to do this without File Explorer. So I know there's a command that I can't remember off the top of my head for getting into the file path. And it's probably just a basic command. Oh, there we go. Okay, so yeah, you'll see everything we have. We have desktop downloads, config, and studentsviewer.exe. So that one definitely seems like it's going to be helpful. I wonder if I could just run file explorer.exe. I think I can. Yeah. So this is just an easier way to get into it, but I don't want to go that route. But I'm pretty sure for this one you can just type studentsviewer.exe. All right, so you can see all of our students here. Here's Madeline, 67, going back to school. Oh, I bet I could have gotten information on her credentials, but I used the wrong format. I bet if I would have, it's all last name. I should have seen that when I looked at this individual. Yeah, it was all by the last name at the email. Okay, anyway, we can improve Madeline's score. Let's give her some more. Let's give her 9.9. Save that. Okay, so we got into the network. We got into the records. We changed her physics grade. Now let's get out. Are there any... I'm going to see real quick if there's any audit files. Alright, while we're in here, let's see if we can cause some more trouble. Is this a bank login? What is this? I guess let's open a... We might be able to do something with this. That's mine. Oh, I probably shouldn't show that. Somebody smarter than me is going to be able to take everything out of my bank. So if you're watching on Grayak, spare me. You don't need to take everything. I'm new. Newer to the game. But if you want to, you can. Okay. Alright. Yeah, let's stop the time. We got in. Alright, that is time. We got there. We got the record changed, and now I think we just need to reply done. Alright. This client was satisfied with our job. Income has been added to our account. We did it. We made it. Plenty of time to spare. I've done one other of these before that didn't end up getting posted just because the quality was so bad, but I did not do it in 30 minutes. It took me 34, so this is a big improvement over what we had done before. So just to recap today, we got into the network. We used Nmap and Whois to understand what ports are open, and then also understand who the admin of the computer was. We ended up getting into the education records with an exploit we bought from the browser. Basically gave us the password files for all the users on the network. We were able to see what everyone's credentials were. And then with that, we logged into one of the users, and getting in there allowed us to see their programs. With the ls command, we got to see all the programs. We saw they had I forget exactly what it was called, but it was a UI that popped up and showed all the students' grades. And then we were able to get in, change Madeline's physics grade, got out, let them know we did it, and made the money. So we got it all taken care of today in just over 16 minutes. So pretty good time. Well done, and that's it. I didn't delete my logs, Wayram. I don't know how to do that. I've been getting a pop-up message that says, hey, we saw you on here. If you know a quick way to do that, let's see it. I'm interested to learn. I was trying to look that up. That should be my next step. Delete logs. Okay, let's. Well, I guess I would have to log back in as that user in all systems. I mean, I just want to look at them on my end, but okay, none on my end. In all systems? I would need to log back in though as that user, right? And I don't think I have. Oh, it's a file? Oh, so I would need to log in as that user in my bar? Oh. Uh, yeah. Hmm. As it is not an executable file. Ah, I see. Yeah, so it wouldn't matter if I deleted it on their system, just on my end. Okay. So interesting. I wonder why it wouldn't be a path I can go down then, if I just have to go to log viewer. I can't delete them. I guess. Uh, when you shell into a PC, it will log it, so you want to delete them. Got it. Makes sense. So just when I'm logged in as that user, I want to delete the logs going forward. Okay, I'll start doing that. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. All right, I appreciate the help. Nice. Yeah, I joined that Pirate Software Discord for Greyhack, and it's been super helpful. A lot of great people in there. Have you been playing this game a lot? You definitely seem to know quite a bit more than me about it. A year or so? Damn, that's awesome. Yeah, I saw Pirate Software play like a month ago, and I just recently picked up streaming, so I thought I'd stream it, just figure it out as I go, try to learn it. So are you just using the all the exploits and everything? Are you writing them yourself? Are you still buying them from the store? I am in multiplayer, yeah. So I figured I'm fine to just get my ass kicked for a little bit. I imagine I'll get my system broken into, get my money stolen at some point. So I just figured I'd join in and learn. Currently using other player-made tools. That's cool. That's super cool. Yeah, I'd like to get to that point. The store makes sense right now. I feel like it helps me get the baseline down and learn. Yeah, that would be cool. I'm excited to get hacked. I thought about doing single player, but I was like, I might as well just get in here and learn as I go. That's the point. It's not the real world, so I'm not too worried about being hacked. So it'd be cool. Definitely cool. Anything else you recommend joining? Oh, you run a website? Links Hub, best site on this internet? Ooh, I feel I've been hesitant. I don't know if you've seen, I mean, you probably haven't seen other videos I put out, but I keep saying I'm hesitant to go to everything, any links or anything like that. I'll try it. Who cares? Linkhub.com. Wait, is it on this? Are you talking real internet? Are you talking Greyhack internet? I thought you were talking Greyhack. Oh, okay. Linkhub.com. Any IPs will be exposed. That's cool. So you built all this on Greyhack? That's crazy. This is sick, man. Props to you. Do you do any like ethical hacking, pen test stuff in real life? 'Cause I'm curious how applicable this ends up being. Nope, all in game. Yeah, because I'm interested to try this out a bit, learn more about this, and then try stuff like Hack the Box and those kind of tools to see, I mean, how they apply or like how they compare. This is sweet. Yeah, I already feel like I've learned a good amount. But as you can see from watching me trying to get to that logs viewer. Yeah, I saw there is a streamer mode I have not turned on. So I, where did I see it at? I think it was up here. Programs. Yeah, streaming mode. Yeah, so I should probably leave that on. But yeah, I'll learn. That's something I have no idea about right now is just covering my own trail. But yeah, you're right. I should turn it on. It just takes one person with bad intentions. So yeah, I'll leave that on. I don't think I need to hide all of it. I appreciate you stopping by, man. I definitely learned I need to be better about using the log viewer or getting to that system log root. Deleting those files. But yeah, I'm gonna bookmark this page. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate that. Oops. All right, yeah, I'm gonna try to be streaming this more often. So feel free to stop by anytime. Like I said, backseating's always welcome. So I'll try to keep learning as I go, and yeah, excited to play Greyhack. All right, man. I'm shutting it down for the day. Appreciate you.